Good evening and welcome. Tonight we look past the headlines to the pearls of a continent in transition, from the high-stakes power plays in the Gulf to the quiet resilience of our market. We bring you the clarity you need in an uncertain world. My name is Maurice Mbugua and you're watching Africa Focus on KOW TV. We begin tonight with the world standing on a razor's edge as the war with Iran enters a new phase marked by a chilling transition of power in Tehran. Following the death of the previous Ayatollah, his 56-year-old Mojtaba Khamenei was named Iran's that ever supreme leader on Sunday. His first act in office was not a call for diplomacy but a massive wave of missiles and drones launched across the Gulf. This transition has extinguished any immediate hope for a ceasefire as the new leader appears determined to prove his strength through escalation. Now, the global reaction has been swift and perilous. In Washington, President Trump branded the appointment a big mistake, while the Israeli military labeled the new supreme leader a potential target for elimination. On the ground, Israel launched its heaviest bombardment of Tehran to date, simultaneously striking drone headquarters and missile sites in Isfahan. The conflict has even physically crossed into NATO territory for the second time, with a ballistic missile intercepted over Turkey. The economic fallout is becoming a catastrophic surge for global markets. Oil prices touched nearly $120 a barrel on Monday, the highest since 2022, before pulling back slightly after Trump claimed that the war could end very soon. However, with Bahrain's only oil refinery currently in flames and residential areas in Saudi Arabia and UAE under fire, the reality remains volatile. Beyond the battlefield, we are seeing extraordinary acts of defiance. 5 members of the Iranian women's soccer team defected in Australia, seeking asylum after refusing to sing the national anthem. As retirement funds and pension portfolios worldwide take a hit, it is clear that the war has transformed this into a global event that no nation can ignore. Now, as the international chaos unfolds, Somaliland is demonstrating a remarkable focus on long-term resilience and human dignity. Despite the regional fires, a delegation from the Somaliland Ministry of Water Development is currently in Israel undergoing specialized training at the Mashav Training Center. These experts are immersed in sessions focused on sustainable project development and the modernization of water services. Mashav officials have praised the Somaliland delegation for their deep dedication, noting that even under these perilous global circumstances, the experts remain fixated on bringing world-class water solutions back to their communities. This growing alliance is a direct result of Israel's landmark decision to recognize Somaliland, a move that paved the way for both nations to collaborate as sovereign partners. This formal relationship is already bearing significant fruit as the delegation bridges the gap between Hargeisa and Jerusalem to adopt world-renowned smart water technologies. By working together on equal footing, Somaliland is now positioned to leapfrog traditional infrastructure hurdles using Israeli desalination and irrigation expertise. This partnership is proving that the diplomatic bridges built through mutual recognition are now serving as the literal lifelines for Somaliland's future generations. This commitment to the people is being matched at home by the private sector. As the national drought continues to threaten both lives and livestock, Amal Bank has stepped forward with a donation of $25,000 to the National Drought Committee. This contribution is a vital lifeline for relief operations in the hardest hit regions. The committee has characterized the situation as worsening and has called on other institutions to follow Amal Bank's lead. It is a stark reminder that while the world watches the missiles in the Gulf, Somaliland is quietly fighting a different kind of war, one against climate-driven destitution through education, investment, and national solidarity. Turning our eyes to West Africa, Nigeria is attempting to build a fortress around its energy security as the Middle East conflict threatens to starve the global market. The Dangote mega refinery pledged on Monday to prioritize the domestic market to prevent fuel shortages. Managing Director David Bard stated that as long as the refinery receives support from the government and the NNPC, Nigeria will continue to enjoy supply security. However, he warned that because Dangote is a private enterprise exposed to international commodity markets, further price hikes cannot be ruled out. The situation in Nigeria is already unsettling. Fuel prices have surged by 20% in just 1 week, reaching record highs of over 1,000 naira per litre in Lagos. This follows President Tinubu's earlier decision to abolish fuel subsidies, leaving the public fully exposed to the volatile global crude market. Mr. Bad emphasized that any move to stabilize prices must come from the government, framing the current crisis as a test of the state's willingness to intervene in the energy economy. For Africa's leading oil producers, the irony is bitter. Even with a world-class refinery on its soil, the nation remains a hostage to global transport and insurance costs triggered by a war thousands of miles away. Finally, we return to Hargeisa, where the Somaliland cabinet has convened for an urgent session to shield the national economy from the Middle East firestorm. The Minister of Trade and Tourism, Abdelrahman Hassan Noor, briefed the council on the worsening state of maritime routes and the inevitable rise in shipping costs. He warned that if the tension in the Red Sea persists, the price of imported and essential goods and fuel in Somaliland will face significant upward pressure. The government has acted swiftly, forming a special task force to monitor global market developments minute by minute. Minister Noor confirmed that the ministry has already held meetings with local traders, urging them to show national responsibility. The government has explicitly requested that traders refrain from raising prices on essential goods based on speculation or fear. By consulting directly with business leaders, the administration is attempting to prevent an inflation rate before it takes hold. It is a proactive stance aimed at maintaining market stability and ensuring that the global crisis does not become a local tragedy for the people of Somaliland. And that is our report for this evening. From the new leadership in Tehran to the resilient water experts of Hargeisa, the stories of our continent continue to unfold. For the entire Africa Focus team here, my name is Maurice Mbugwa. Thank you for watching.